readers, welcome back to our channel Unboxing Perspectives. I am Kanika and I am here with yet another book recommendations for you. So on this channel we get together to read, to learn, to know various interesting facts and different art forms. So we explore the movies, we explore the music, we explore the books and a lot of other things. So if you are new to this channel, do not forget to click on the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so that you are notified with every new book that we are reading and with every new art form that we are exploring. So let's begin this video without any further ado. So what we are going to discuss in today's video. In today's video, we are having some heartwarming books which are not actually love stories. So these books are based upon some platonic relationships and the relationships of all different kinds that we have. Relationship might be a mother-daughter relationship, a father-son relationship, relationship of parents with their children, with our neighbors, with everyone that we are surrounded of. So these are some books which will make you think and feel once you keep them down. So let's begin with our recommendation. The first book that I am going to recommend today is Manto by Hussain Manto. He was a Pakistani writer. He was forced to leave India at the time of partition because of his beliefs and his name, and then he and his family settled down in Pakistan. So all the atrocities faced by him during the partition of India and all the various aspects seen by him during the partition of India are reflected in his books. So the first book is Manto. So this book is a collection of 12 short stories which include stories from different realms. It includes stories of a man who is trying to struggle in his old age, and a person who is trying to save his own village of the flood, and every other form that you can have, the challenges faced by people at the time of partition and the impact of events of partitions on the friendships, on love, on families, on the movement, on the houses and everything that surrounded them. So all of these emotions and all of these pictures are brought out alive in his books, and the impact is shown out there. So these books are really heartwarming and they will move you to the very core to know what actually was faced by the people. So I think this is the first recommendation. Every beginner can go for it because they are short stories and they will keep you binding. In case you enjoy things like having different aspects, then you can always go for these books. So this book is a must read for every beginner in case you are interested in movies based on Indian partition and based on some really heart-moving stories. This was my first recommendation, that is Manto by Hussain Manto. Then moving on to the second book, we have The Kite Runner by Khalid Hussain. Again, he is a man who saw the atrocities of war and who saw what Afghanistan was before the war and what Afghanistan was after the war. So this is the story based upon relationship of two men, that is from the very beginning when they were kids to the very adulthood that they lived together. So it is basically a story about a servant and a master. So they were two boys growing together in Afghanistan, and their relationship was so deep that they went to the lengths to protect each other and to work for each other. So the dedication of servant towards his master is shown in a wonderful manner. This book will capture your interest from the very beginning. Then there is a part when the war separates them and they need to move away from their main homeland to another place. Then they are dislocated, and when they have to move the entire structure to another place. But later on in life, when the master is stable and when he is able to process the thoughts, he comes back to his own land, and there he finds his servant waiting for him, and they redeem themselves and they work out their relationship. All these scenarios are so beautifully mentioned that you will need to keep the book down even in between. You cannot wait till the very end of the book to involve and to digest all the facts shown. So this is really a book which will may move you to your tears, and this will have an emotional turbulence in your mind and your heart. So this is a wonderful book to go to if you are looking for some heartwarming books. Then third recommendation is again by Khalid Hosseini, that is 1,000 Splendid Sun. Now this book is based upon relationship between two women who develop a mother-daughter bond, and actually those two women are married to same men, and their relation should be in fact the one with struggles and envy, but here they develop a mother-daughter bond. The mother is the first wife of the man and the daughter is the second wife. When she comes to her house and they have to adjust in that such situation, then the surrounding atrocities and the behavior of the people make them glue together and struggle for each other. Now here the mother, that is Mariam, in spite of her own struggles, make her daughter study to learn and to fight with the world and to work for her own rights. So she faces all kinds of blunders, she faces all kinds of atrocities, she faces the beating up and the societal pressures and everything around her, but she makes her daughter independent and a person who can think for herself, work for herself and do whatever she wants to do. So here she gets her daughter remarried and she gets her daughter out of all these scenarios, and in between all these struggles there is again a war, there is again a military rule, and there is all the scenarios all over again, the bombing sites, the military rules and everything surrounds them. So this book is also a book which will move you to the heart, and they will show you a various different forms of a relationship can go through. This book will show you everything that a person faces, and specifically a woman faces when she is trying to stand up for herself or for the women around her. So these all are brought out in such a wonderful manner by Khalid Hosseini that you feel that you are in their own self. You can actually imagine all the scenarios, you can actually imagine whatever the thing is going around you, and this is what is the benefit of his writing style, that yes, this is the thing that will bind you to the book, and this is something that you can actually enjoy reading if you are into reading such things. Then moving on to the fourth book that we have is The Accident. The Accident is again based upon the relationship between a mother and daughter, but here the daughter is not in a position to move around. The daughter is a teenage girl, and she goes out with her friends and meets a terrible accident in which she is crippled and she lies unconscious in hospital for around a year. And there on the other side, the mother is going on with entire difficulties, with a bad marriage, with a bad job, and with everything going her way. There is another factor that comes into her life, that is her daughter's accident. So this entire book, which is written by Daniel Steele, again a person who writes wonderful love stories and who is not a unknown name, but here he presents the relationship of a mother and a daughter in such a wonderful manner that you are bound to read this book, and you are going to read this book in a single sitting, right? So here the mother tackles with her daughter's accident. She stays in hospital, she works for her, she cures her out, and then it is that how she overcomes the struggles in her own life, how she overcomes her own bad marriage, how she comes out of it, how she struggles with her own job, and when she comes out with her daughter, they are both the virtuous one and they are both in a perfect position to start a new life. So this is based upon a relationship between a mother and a daughter, and I think it is the most beautifully portrayed book that you can go to. It is really a heartwarming book that you should read. Then moving on to the fifth recommendation that we have today is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Beckman. So now this book is entirely different from the other above four. When we are talking about the first three books, they were based upon the war, their atrocities, the displacement accident of people and all these, and then the fourth one was also based upon the accident. But here, the fifth book, The Man Called Ove, is based upon an emotion of a man. Emotions of man are generally subdued down, and they are not that priorities as we women, because we tend to cry and we tend to express the emotion very expressively. But when we talk about men, the expressions are subdued and they are fallen down. So here is a story of a man who lost his wife to an accident, and then because of that accident she was crippled, and later on she grew ill and then died of age. But then what was about him? He was a person who was not an outgoing person, who did not talk to many people, and after his wife's death he was a person who is alone in the world with nobody to understand how he functions, how he works for, and there is no one whom he can talk to. But later on, due to his neighborhood and due to the people that he meets, he is forced to go out and talk to his neighbor. He is forced to move and work for people because of his own very nature. And then comes a change in his life when he accepts people around him as part of his own family, and he moves on with his life. And at the end, when he dies a natural death, he was a man with whom people suspected that there would be no person at his funeral. He would be dying alone. But after he accepts his neighbor as his family, and when there is a lot of people in his life, that in his funeral it is a pomp and show, and he has the most wonderful crowd around him. So now this book is a wonderful read to go to, and this is a heartwarming book which will make you laugh, which will make you cry. It will make you laugh with tears in your eyes. So this is a very emotional book, and in case you are interested in reading such kind of book, I hope that you love this and you start with these books, and these books will help you to understand the literature and also explore the range of emotions that we have and explore the range of emotions that the writers put down in their books. So I hope you like these book recommendations. In case you have already read these books, do mention in the comment section below. I would love to know your perspectives about these books and whether you love them or not. And in case you have any specific book in your mind that you need to be reviewed, you can mention that in the comment section below. I will try to review it as soon as possible, and I hope that you give your reviews on this video as well, because they help us to create more content for you. And in case you like this video, do not forget to click on the like button and mention in the comment section below, so that we are encouraged to work for you. I will wind up my video today, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, happy reading.